anyone that's a foreigner that doesn't like England or English people should be gone straight away. I think there should be mass repatriation, and it should be voluntary at first, but at some point it should be obligatory. And Narinda would be a great first example.
Narinder Kaur, the hard left UK activist, has gone viral for suggesting that she wants to quit the UK for India. She says, I would seriously consider moving back to India. These are my people, my tribe. I'm resentful my parents had no choice but to up sticks and come to England for a better life, robbing me of my true being and enduring me to a lifetime of otherness. Father Calvin Robinson will respond in just a moment, but first, here's what Narinda said on video.
So I am here in India, and I asked the question, is it possible for children of immigrants to be able to come back to the homeland, the fatherland, and be repatriated, reconnected, and be able to live here possibly? Because we always feel like we live in this no man's land, that we don't really quite belong in Britain. We don't quite belong here. But what I have felt more than anything is that I've found my tribe, my people. These are my people. I feel at home. It might be a 100% different world. It's a totally different world in India. But I don't feel like an imposter. And, you know, it's funny because on the plane over, I had to fill in a form. And I was a foreigner. It said foreigner coming to India. But I'm the foreigner in Britain. I feel a foreigner in Britain. I am a foreigner here, but I feel at home. They've made me feel welcomed. Just, you know, and I feel resentment. I feel resentment that my parents were forced to come over to Britain to make a life because India was stripped bare by the British. So they've had to come over to England to get jobs. And here I am now in England, where a country that doesn't really like brown or black people, and you don't. And I've spoken to foreign students here, like the ones I spoke to from Congo. I said, have you actually experienced racism? No, nothing. I've seen every nationality here being welcomed with open arms, welcomed. But in Britain, and they said, we don't want to come to Britain. We've heard they beat up our people. We've heard they don't like us. And actually our country is doing great. So that's what I've experienced.
I mean, Father Calvin Robinson, Narinda Kaur lives one of the most privileged Western lives in the UK, and she loves the freedom that she has been granted as a result. What do you make of her video?
Firstly, I was quite worried when he said Narinda Kaur has gone viral again. I'm thankful that she's got knickers on this time. But in regards to her video, I agree entirely. Good for her. She's finally decided that she's not British. She's been going on for so long. I'm British, I'm not Indian. Now she's decided that she is Indian, and if she wants to be repatriated, good. And when she was saying, you know, the Indian people were saying they don't want to go over to Britain, they feel like they're more at home in India, good. Britain has far too many Indian people. Britain has far too many people that are not British. Britain needs to close its borders and adhere to British values for British people, for a British country. I personally think I think India is a bit of a dirty country. I wouldn't want to spend a lot of time there. I would be worried about my belly. But if that's somewhere that she wants to go and live, fantastic. Do it. Go.
She makes great curry. I mean, I think the really shocking point about what Narinda is saying, though, is that actually so many people who are in our country, who are taking from the system, who are taking houses, who are taking spots in the NHS, all of that, actually do hate the UK. And of course, we can't talk about, and I'm just going to talk in generalities here, Calvin, but we can't talk about some sons or daughters of immigrants who have committed allegedly heinous crimes, for example. So it's fascinating, isn't it, that just being born in Britain doesn't immediately mean that you sign up to our culture. And I think my case is very fascinating here, and I have a really interesting personal take on it, because I wasn't born here, Calvin. I was born in New Zealand, but I was born in New Zealand to British parents. And as a result, I am British because it's in me. I feel the culture. And it does show, doesn't it? Your your cultural heritage isn't necessarily about where you are born.
You've got to love the country that you live in. I think British values are the best values in the world, and Britain is one of the greatest countries in the world. And people should believe that if they want to live there. If they hate the country and they hate the people and they hate the values, they should either leave or be kicked out. Narinder is one of those people. She's been extremely racist against white people in particular, especially Britons, for a long time. She's got away with it on mainstream media for goodness knows how long. I don't know how she's managed to get away with being such a
Well, because
racist.
anti-white racism is completely acceptable in the mainstream
Well,
media.
indeed.
That's why look at Dr. Scholar.
Indeed. But then she goes on this video and says, India was stripped of everything from Britain, blah, blah, blah. No, the British were invited into India and governed at the invitation of the Indian, and India was successful under British rule. It's only after that Britain left that India has become the mess that it is today. So this revisionist approach to history is really frustrating. But like, if she wants to go out there and make a life for herself out in India, stop hating on white people, stop hating on British people in Britain, we'll all be better off for it. Well done, Narinda, for finally finding a home. God
Well,
bless you there.
look at this tweet. So TV Kev said, what a great loss. That's Kevin O'Sullivan, sorry, who works on Talk TV, said, what a great loss to Britain that would be. He obviously said that sarcastically. She responded saying, and leaving Britain would be no loss to me either, not a jot. But you guys would genuinely lose if we all remigrated back. This country would collapse. What do you make of that argument, Calvin?
I think the country would thrive. I think there needs to be a lot of mass deportations. Anyone that's a foreigner in England that has committed a crime should be gone straight away. Anyone that's a foreigner that doesn't like England or English people should be gone straight away. I think there should be mass repatriation, and it should be voluntary at first, but at some point it should be obligatory. And Narinda would be a great first example.
I mean, the reality is, Narinda would absolutely hate life in India. That is the reality. And
Go and try it, eh?
oh, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. It would be an absolutely great TV documentary.
And knowing her, it would
wouldn't
probably be a reality TV show as well, wouldn't it?
Yes, exactly. But I don't think they would take so kindly to some of Narinda's very wild antics, for example, which I think are great. You know, I think she was a brilliant personality as a reality TV personality, but I just think it's very naive to think that some of that behavior would be acceptable in India. And just wait till she sees about the true poverty in that country, for example. So that's not for me to slag off India, but it's just to say I think Narinda is looking at it through a rose-tinted glasses as a tourist, really. It does raise the interesting question, though, Calvin. Do we need to start looking much, much more closely in terms of cultural heritage when we're deciding who to allow into the UK? Because for so many years, for example, and I come back to my own personal story, lots of New Zealanders, Australians, and Canadians who do not have grandparents from the UK have been barred from entering, even though they have clear British cultural heritage. And isn't that actually more important? Shouldn't that be something that the immigration system takes into account?
Yeah, I think there should be a moratorium on immigration for a long time until we sort out the mess that we're in. But when we decide to take on immigration again, it should be people that are Christian, have British values or British heritage, or have some connection to the land, because the culture is part of the land. Britain, the great mass of Great Britain, is a place as well as a people. And our heritage for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, has been rooted in that place. And there are so many people who see it as, with a globalist mindset, if it's just a bit of land and can live there and scrape off the system and live on benefits and just rape and pillage essentially in a modern concept. That is wrong. It's disgusting. And we need to get back to loving the people, loving the place, loving the culture, loving the values. And people that subscribe to that and want to integrate with our language and our culture, our values and our faith, then there's perhaps a possibility of them coming to Britain. But people who don't like British people, don't like British values, and don't like Christian faith should not be allowed in.
I think it is the saddest thing that we have now got to the place in the UK where people like Narinda and Dr. Scholar are celebrated for hating everything we are. It is such a significant issue.
And part of the problem is them, because they are blatant racists, race baiters, they're race grifters, they make money from being racist. Part of the problem is them. But part of the problem is the white middle class liberal, actually, the self-hating, self-depreciating Britain who wants to hate themselves because they've got some weird white guilt. And so they embrace people like Dr. Shola and Narinda
Yeah,
Kaur.
and they turned up. Calvin, sorry to interrupt, but I saw those exact people at the Justice for Chris Cabba marches. Chris Cabba would have shot you dead, you idiot.
Yeah. But even then, they still would have found a way to apologize for him. It's like I can never get that story out of my mind, that poor woman who was raped by an immigrant, and she lied about the race of him because she didn't want to get him in trouble or provoke a race riot. It's like these people hate themselves so much that they're willing to be raped and murdered and still blame themselves. It's insane. It's the definition of insanity.
It is. Goodness me, Calvin. What a world we are in at the moment, but absolutely fascinating stuff. And we will speak next week as the countdown to the US election continues. Father Calvin Robinson, thank you so
much. Dan, send my love to Lady C as well.
I will. She's standing by. She is standing by. So don't go anywhere, because in just 1 minute, Lady Colin Campbell on whether the mainstream media is right to predict the end of the British Empire. This is as a result of the antics going on at Shogham right now. We'll explain all in just a moment. But first, best time of year, isn't it? Football is back. Premier League in the UK, NFL Sundays in the US, college football Saturdays. With that comes the glorious grind of fantasy football lineups where your inner manager comes alive. But listen, while you're over here making sure your fantasy team is dialed in, don't let your personal grooming become the guy that gets left on the bench. My advice to you is that nobody wants to fumble their grooming routine. So, if you're a bloke, you need this, I promise you. And if you're a wife or a girlfriend or a mum, this is the perfect present for the man in your life. Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. I love it. It's an all-in-one grooming playbook, from keeping things sharp down below with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra to taking care of those rogue-era nose hairs with the Weed Whacker 2.0. These products will help you feel clean, confident, and ready to dominate your fantasy league. So, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra Groin and Body Hair Trimmer is your franchise player of your grooming roster with precise trimming capabilities. It's reliable, efficient, and gets the job done without fumbling. Whether it's for date night, a weekend tailgate, or just everyday grooming, this is the tool you want on your squad. Now, no one wants a surprise nose or hair making a guest appearance on game day or date night. So the Weed Whacker 2.0 handles those details like a pro, keeping you neat and ready to go. No missed tackles in your grooming game. The Performance Package 5.0 doesn't stop at grooming essentials, though. It comes with 2 free gifts, which is really exciting. There they are. The Boxes 2.0 Midnight Bravo and the Shed 2.0 Toiletry Bag. Premium gear to ensure you're always ready for action, whether at home or on the road. So join the 10 million men worldwide. I'm one of them who trust Manscaped and get ready for kickoff by heading over to manscaped.com. All you need to do is when you check out, just enter the coupon code OUTSPOKEN at checkout. You will get 20% off your entire order and free shipping. Trust me, you'll be drafting the real MVP of grooming this season. So 20% off and free shipping. You just need to use the coupon code OUTSPOKEN at www.manscaped.com. Stay on top of your grooming game. Be ready for anything the season throws your way. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.